Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Yolopark AMK Series G1 Megatron Model Kit. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got the Transformers, more than meets the eye, and kind of circuit boardy metal plate background going on there. On the front, Yolopark AMK Series, ages 15 and up Transformers, more than meets the eye. And there we have, I don't know if it's a product shot or digital render, but there's Megatron. Starscream's in the back. Only comes with Megatron though. Transformers. And then, no glue required, no painting required, and no tools required. That's not always true. Yolopark official holographic sticker. Megatron AMK Series 20 centimeters model kits. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. On the bottom, there's a barcode. Don't give it to babies. Symbols I'm not going to learn. And all the places that you can follow Yolopark. And if you want to pause it there and make sure you're following them all those places, that is if you want to. And then again in the background, that nice circuit boardy metal plate kind of background. On this side, Yolopark AMK Series Megatron AMK Series 20 centimeter model kits, and some nice. I'm gonna guess those are practical shots, and they're probably not. But anyway, Decepticon Leader. Authentic Transformers! On this side, pretty much the same stuff, different pictures though. Decepticon Leader, Yolopark, AMK Series Megatron, AMK Series 20 centimeter model kit, Authentic Transformers. And then finally moving on to the back. Now I'm going to guess some of this is digital renders. It shows off his front and his rear. It's right there. And then there's the instructions. Wow. Yolopark, and then all kinds of text, or Yolopark AMK Series, and then all kinds of text there talking about the product. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there, and don't give it to babies. And I don't know what all that says, or what all that says, but I'm assuming this is pretty much what this is. And then we have Transformers, Authentic Hasbro, registered trademarks, Made in China print. Barcode, collect them all. Starscream, Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. The packaging contains important information. Keep it for future reference, like the instructions. And that, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and, well, the figure or model kit, however you want to call it. And first up, let's take a look at the sculpt and the deco. And I have to say, overall, this is probably the most tune accurate Megatron that I've ever reviewed or held in my hand. But that's simply because, at least in robot mode, because he does not transform. It's a model kit and it is robot mode only. And you know, that's fine, because that's what this caters to, is someone who just cares about the robot mode, which is fine. If you only like the robot mode, that's fine. I like mine to transform, even though generally they stay in robot mode. So overall, I have to say the sculpt is very good. Lots of molded detail, like around the helmet, in here, the face, and the chest plate up here, the arms, the fusion cannon, the legs. I mean, even the crotch piece, the waist. And as far as deco hits there, he's got some black above the eyes, and he's got red for the eyes with a black outline, and it's gray up here. My bad, it's dark gray, not black, in these pieces above the eyes. Then we've got the tampo for the Decepticon logo. We've got some stripes here at the biceps, just above the elbows. And then we've got a couple of color hits right here for the bits and boops. And that really does it for the deco and the sculpt. And as far as this being a model kit, I had to pop the head on. I had to insert this piece, pop the arms on, pop the fusion cannon on, pop the hands on, pop the waist onto the torso, pop the legs into, you know, here, and then pop the feet on. And that was all the assembly. No painting, no gluing, and just enough assembly that I guess they can classify it as a model kit. So when it says some assembly required, it's just some assembly. It's not overly complicated. I thought it was going to be cutting stuff out of sprues and, you know, the normal kind of stuff that goes with a snap together model kit. But that was not the case. So that was a nice surprise. Now let's take a look at his articulation real quick. He can look up that high. He can look down that low because he's got this piece here that lifts up. I kind of wish it did that so he could look up that far too, but that would be a weird hinge to design, I guess. So at the shoulder, there's a little bit of forward butterfly. I'll say a little bit. It's that much. So forward butterfly, not really any back butterfly. He can raise his arm up this high, which is about a 90-degree angle. It does rotate 360 degrees there. There is a cut at the upper bicep, 360 degrees of rotation there. Single hinged elbow, and single hinge on this guy is quite enough. It gives you that much bend, so that's really good. At the wrist, 360 degrees of rotation, and the one thing that I'm going to complain about when we get to the final ramblings is that piece right there, and it goes in and out. It has no up and down, so it's only on an in and out hinge. So there is that. Now where the and the fusion cannon doesn't move once you install it in there, and it's, oh, look at that, it can extend out. I didn't realize that. Cool. Find out something new every day. So there's a cut right here where the chest and the torso meet, and it's on a ball joint, it feels like, because it got all kind of hula going on. He can tilt left and right. He can lean back that far, and he can crunch forward that far at that one. Now there is another cut at the waist, and he gets a little bit of lean crunch forward. Nothing really back there, and nothing really side to side. He does rotate 360 degrees there though, and no rotation at this upper joint. At the hips, there's no pull down, but that's okay because these flaps move up out of the way, and he can give you the full splits. So that's pretty cool. This piece also moves up out of the way, allowing him to kick forward about 90 degrees. And back, this piece does not move out of the way, so that kind of sucks. But he can kick back that far, which is still pretty good. So cut right below the hip gives you 360 degrees of rotation there. Close that up. Then he's got a double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you all the bend back. It gives you some bend forward, and you can move it like that a bit as well. Seeing as how he's a robot, I guess that's okay. Or is that how it's supposed to be? I'm not sure. So, nothing below the knee till you get to the ankle. There's a little bit of twist. There's tilt down that far, tilt up that far. And then he does have toe tilt as well. So that's cool. And then he does have some rocker. Got a good bit of rocker actually. So. And one thing I did forget, the fingers are somewhat hinged. So like a lot of things we see in Transformers with hinged fingers. So the lower three fingers are hinged together. And they have a hinge here at the knuckle, and then they also have a hinge there, and they do articulate pretty good. The first finger, it has the same articulation, it's just not connected with the rest of them. So there is that, so that's pretty cool. And then the thumb has, it can go back that far, it can go forward that far, and it also pops out a lot. So there is that. That looks odd, so we're gonna put it back up. And there you have it, my friends. That is a look at the figure / model kit. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Yolopark AMK Series Megatron model kit with the only two mainline Transformers that matter in a comparison for this guy. The Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron and the Studio Series Commander Class Optimus Prime. Here we have the Yolopark AMK Series Megatron model kit with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Yolopark AMK Series Megatron model kit with, from the Marvel Legends series, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Yolopark AMK Series Megatron model kit, first off, I'd like to give a big thank you to Kaz, the Kasual Toy Collector, over on his channel. I won this as a prize on one of his live streams, and we were both going to Joe Fest, so I told him, let's save on some shipping, and I'll just pick it up there. And happened to bump into him there. I was trying to find him, but we actually bumped into each other outside of the convention center, and he did bring me my prize, and that's really cool. And if you guys have not checked out the Kasual Toy Collector, does live streams, and you can check him out over on his channel. Just search up Kasual Toy Collector with a K for casual, and it should pop right up. Hopefully I'll remember to put a link to his channel in the description. So if you want to check out that, you can. It's always open mic, and it can get pretty wild in there sometimes. So, you know, leave your sensibilities at the door, so to speak. But it's always a fun time. And again, big shout out to him, and big thanks also for putting this up for me to win. Even though I was trying to, I told him I don't want it. I'm not trying to get into another line, and that's the truth. But now, just like I was afraid of when I won the dang thing, I like it, and I want more of them. And so I can see an Optimus Prime at the very least becoming part of my collection in the near future. I would say this figure is great. This is my first real non-transforming Transformer. I did have, like, when I was a kid, I had like those rubber eraser kind of things, and then, you know, there was the little PVC pack-ins back in G1. You know, I don't really count those because they weren't really action figures. But this is a full-on action figure, Transformer action figure that doesn't transform. So it is my first one that I have. And I have to say, the robot mode is really, really good. The alt mode is horrible. But that's only because it doesn't have one. So, you know, it does go to show, if they concentrate on one form or the other, it does make an improvement, because you don't have lots of kibble and panel lines and, you know, that kind of stuff. And not that I'm gonna go full-on non-transforming Transformers, because I do, like, as much as I say I hate to do it during a review, I do hate to transform them during a review, but I do like to transform Transformers. A lot of times I like to do it without the instructions, see if I can actually remember how to do it. Sometimes there are some that I just cannot figure it back out, and I do have to pull the instructions back out. And so there is that. The range of motion on this guy is really, really good. I like all the articulation points. The one thing that I will complain about on this figure is the thumbs. They pop out a lot. Every time you try to move the other fingers, the thumbs are coming loose. So I may put a spot of glue on those just to keep that from continuing to happen. Now, I can't really speak much to the Pro Series version of this because I don't have it, and I don't plan on getting it, but I can see where it would be cool that it does have some die-cast parts to it. I'm not sure how many, and like the eyes light up, and I think the fusion cannon lights up as well on that version. Again, I don't know for sure. I haven't really watched anything on it. I just know that it has some die-cast parts and it has light-up features. And, you know, I'm glad and not glad at the same time that I won this, and that has nothing to do with Kaz. It's just I didn't want to get into another line, and at least I can see a few more of these coming my way. I think, and I will say I don't know that I would call this a model kit. It's not a model kit in the traditional sense. It comes mostly assembled, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts, 9 parts of it that you actually have to put together. You have to pop the arms on, you have to pop the hands on, have to pop the fusion cannon on, have to pop on the barrel on the back, you have to pop on the head, you have to pop the hip onto the lower torso. I think you have to put the upper torso on the lower torso, or the chest on the torso, and then you have to put the waist piece in, and you have to pop the legs on, then you have to pop the feet on. You're done. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a model kit in the strictest sense. I would say it's a model kit in a very loose sense, and that doesn't bother me. But when I opened it up and saw that it was mostly put together already, I was like, wow, I thought there was going to be more assembly than this. So opening the box up and seeing that there wasn't a whole lot of assembly to it was a bit of a shock, because like I said, I would have just called this an action figure with some assembly required, not necessarily a model kit, because the traditional things for a model kit just aren't there. And I'm glad some of it's not there, but it would have been nice to like put all the pieces together and just to see how it works. But that's okay too. So if you're looking for a challenging model kit, this is not for you. If you're looking for a good looking model kit that won't take you long to put together and no glue, no painting, then this is definitely for you. If you want just a badass looking Megatron, here it is. Now I know there's some other companies that are doing things similar to this that aren't necessarily model kits, but for the price of this, I don't know. For me, the price of this is the right price. I don't necessarily need a lot of die-cast parts and light-up parts, and that can lead to some other issues down the road. And I'm fine with no lights and plastic parts. But that's just me. Your mileage, of course, may vary. You may want some of those higher-end non-transforming transformers like the DLX line or whatever. But for me, these are cool, and I do plan on at least picking up an Optimus Prime to go with this Megatron, because you have to have Optimus Prime and Megatron together. In my opinion, again, your mileage may vary. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.